What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode for the Men in Uncaged. As you know, this is the journey to the top 1%. And how do we get there? By becoming 1% better. And speaking of 1% better daily, I want to talk about a conversation I had literally this morning. It means a lot to me. We're going to be talking about leadership. And this is it's an interesting topic. I'll say that. Donald Doe, if you don't know who he is, he's in VIP. He came to us by way of recommendation for an expert. He got on the expert call, and literally based on the types of questions that the VIP members were asking him, he was like, dude, this is a group I got to get involved with, and literally joined that day. As soon as he was like, send me the payment link, bro. And dude, he's an incredible human being. If you don't know who he is, I highly suggest you start following him. He has his own channel, all that. And dude, it'd be worth just joining VIP just to hear him talk when he does open his mouth. But we were talking about leadership this morning. Him and I were. He hit me up based on a conversation that he overheard me have on one of the roundtable calls. Reached out to me, yesterday after the call. Reached out to me this morning, kind of following back up on a conversation that we had. And it really meant a lot to me. And I felt so pulled by the conversation that we had. I knew that I had to shoot an episode on this. And, out of the conversation, he quoted John Maxwell out of 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. There's a quote that John Maxwell says, "He that thinketh he leadeth when no one is following is merely just taking a walk." And dude, that was so powerful to me based on conversation that him and I had. And I want to play a clip just from the voice message that Donald Doe sent me. It's on like 1.5 X. That's how I listen to things. So I don't want you to think that he sounds this robotic. But I want you to listen to the first like maybe 30 seconds of this message, and then we're going to dive into it.
Hey, good morning, big dog, man. Hope you're doing better today, man, and better spirits, man. Remember this too, bro. It's just my perspective. I mean, I know people may have something different, but I know for me, what was something that I've noticed in leadership is that you want leaders around you that are not itching for attention, right? People that want attention don't really want to lead. They just want attention, and you built something special here. And I know you got your pack leaders, and your pack leaders, from what I can see, I know I don't really know these guys, but just from what I can see, and I feel like I'm a good judge of character. These guys seem to be very humble guys that honestly just want to help you, right? They're not doing it for attention and like, hey, they're not, hey, look at me, guys. At least from what I can see. And I think that that's big when you're building a community. And those, Donovan and whoever else that was gaslighting.
So part of this that I want to break down is we've had some people that have come into the ecosystem of Uncaged, and they've seen it as a platform to portray themselves as leaders. And so one of the part of the conversation that Donald Doe and I had was focusing on the motherfuckers that are here, focusing on the motherfuckers that show up every day and they put in the work, and they, for lack of better terms, they lead in silence. They're not out here boasting all these accolades that they have. If anything we know about social media, it's that most people put out the highlight reel. It's a facade. It is a fake persona. That's not really them. It's what they want you to think that they are. And so we have seen this come up in leadership roles. When they see Uncaged, they see a group of powerful fucking men. And so they want to come in and they want to be seen as a leader inside that community. Now, mind you, Uncaged, especially VIP, our whole mission is we want to build up leaders inside the community. We're not fucking intimidated by strong personalities. We want people to be bad motherfuckers at what they do. We want people to become leaders. We want people who are genuine and actually give a fuck about what they educate people on and how they inspire and motivate people to come from the ashes and lead people who need to desperately hear this information. However, this puts us as a target for ones who want to take advantage. And I wanted to have this conversation because there's been multiple people that have come and left the VIP program because they've gotten fucking butthurt. They were not instantly put into some sort of a leadership role or put on a pedestal or given this just free authority to say that these guys are experts at what they do, or these guys do this, or whatever the case is. They realize that can't really shake Uncaged that way. They don't get what they want, and then they leave. And I want to bring this to attention because Uncaged, and it's hard for me to have this next part of the conversation because Uncaged isn't about Zack Williams. However, it's my full-time responsibility to protect the integrity of the group, especially VIP. And with that said, Uncaged was built on the premise of all these other groups and things that I have personally seen, as well as other VIP members, majority of the founding members have witnessed where things go awry. You can't pay to play to be here. You can't sponsor yourself onto a platform. You cannot invest into authority in Uncaged. It's all fucking earned. Now, with that said, what I have seen personally, because I can speak on my own personal interactions, is I have earned my seat at the table in a majority of these other groups that I've been a part of. So much so that it's put pressure on some of the people that originally founded them or maybe took some of the spotlight away. Now, I'm not speaking on any one group specifically. This has come up in multiple groups. And it's given me some insight into what could make Uncaged different. Surrounding myself with bad motherfuckers, genuine bad motherfuckers, like the Donald Does, like the Jacob Stollers, like the Dr. B's, like the Byron Wolfs, like the Dylan Brissetts, like all of them. All these bad motherfuckers. Is that our community of real fucking leaders is special. A community of real leaders that put their ego aside, and it's not about them. None of us are smarter than all of us. That's a group to be reckoned with. That's a group to keep your eye on. That's a group to get involved with. It's like a fucking pack of wolves around here. We're all bad motherfuckers. Sometimes you got to lead from the front. Sometimes you got to lead from the back. But either way, you got to be a good follower. You got to be able to understand when to follow someone else, when that's their skill set, when that's their level of expertise, when that's where they thrive as a leader. And so it's really opened my eyes, especially in some of the vetting processes, because hindsight, some of these people that have left have done so because that they were not gifted a leadership role. And when I look back onto the process on which they got here and the journey that they've been on since they've been in Uncaged, the signs were there, which is going to allow us to plug that from the beginning. Sure, there might be some that, slip through, whatever the case is. But Uncaged as a whole, it's our responsibility to focus on building up the community with leaders inside of it, and it's earned. Now, I want to preface, because moving forward, there's no focus on the people that leave. Our industry churn rate is about 1/10 of what the industry standard is. So, we are already on to way better trajectory than industry standards. And so one of the things that Donald Doe approached me on is the motherfuckers that are with us are fucking with us, dog. We're no longer worried about the ones that come and they half-heartedly attempt to be a part of the group and to be a fake social media member, giving us the highlight reel, we're focused on the ones that are fucking with us. Those are the ones that, as a group, we are molding into leadership. Now, we have a pack leader program inside of VIP, which is an opportunity to instantly move you into a leadership role within Uncaged. But it's fucking earned. We got like 20 pack leaders. None of them were given it. They earned it. And they are actively learning it, earning it week in and week out by building the community of strong men that are looking for a community of like-minded men to be a part of. So for us, how can we, as Uncaged, help you become a stronger leader? How can you lead yourself better? How can you lead your wife better? How can you lead your kids better? How can you lead your business or your employees or your coworkers better? Leading comes in all shapes, forms, and walks of life. I can't tell you how many people that other people may look up and consider themselves a leader, but they can't even fucking lead themselves. Going back to the John Maxwell quote, motherfuckers just self-appoint themselves as a leader, think that they can throw money at situations and just instantly become a leader. But motherfuckers are just walking, dog. There ain't nobody following them. There's no one following them. Why would you fucking follow these people that can't even lead themselves? They're out here pretending to be something that they're not. So if you're listening to this, what can you do? Where can you start to become the leader that you need to be for your fucking self, for your fucking wife, for your fucking kids, for your fucking team, for Uncaged? I've said it before on other podcasts. When you aren't leading yourself, it eliminates the ability to be able to lead others. And the motherfuckers that need you to be a leader, you're robbing them. There's people that need to look up to you. But because you have not stepped into the shoes of a real leader, and first and foremost aren't even leading yourself, you'll never be able to lead them. You'll never be able to lead them. Again, going back to the conversation I had with Donald, part of that was a lot of these leaders, they're just itching for attention. If you heard him say, a lot of the pack leaders, all the pack leaders at this point, they're modest guys. They're just out here trying to do what is right. That's it. They don't need the attention. Not a one of them that's left asked for any special treatment. They genuinely have seen Uncaged change their fucking life, and they want to share that with other people. Imagine what kind of a world we live in, especially with the men that actually led themselves in an appropriate way, that actually surrounded themselves with like-minded men, that actually leaned on each other when they needed it, that were actually vulnerable and transparent, honest, good motherfuckers, not this fucking fake bullshit you see on social media. You ain't got to lie to kick it, dog. I had a conversation with Dylan. Dylan's been putting in some fucking serious work, especially since the Q1 retreat. And Stoller gave him a shout out in the group chat and said how proud he was of him and how he's a completely different fucking man. Between Q1, we're not even at Q3 because of the work that he's put in. And it created a sidebar conversation between Dylan and I. He's like, holy shit, bro. He's like, I didn't even know, someone of Jacob Stoller's stature and status and role even knows who I was. And Stoller's extremely successful. And my conversation with Dylan was, it when you start to surround yourself with these successful people, Donald Doe being one of them, massively successful person. These motherfuckers don't expect you to have the same things that they have. They don't expect you to have the same amount of money or the same amount of assets or the same amount of anything to be considered like-minded. You got to have that work ethic, though. So the beautiful thing about this relationship between Stoller and Dylan, Stoller told him what to do, but Dylan had to go out and do it. Dylan had to put his ego aside and realize that this isn't some fake social media lifestyle that he's living. This is real life. And he realized that he had to lead himself and lead his family and then lead his business. And that's what he's been fucking doing. Therefore, this motherfucker, he's a leader. He didn't do it for any attention. Motherfucker didn't even know some of these people even knew his name. But he's been focused on actually leading himself. Where now he gets to look back and see people behind him. He ain't out here just on a fucking walk. But you start to surround yourself with these successful people. These successful people don't need you to have the same level of success that they have, because they all started from somewhere. And they recognize that in themselves and in you as a fucking leader. But if you can't lead yourself, there's no room for responsibility. There's no one that's going to follow you. So because of this, the men in Uncaged see true leadership. Not by me, by other members inside the group. And they're following them because they had to learn to be a good follower before they could be a good leader. And now they have started to become good leaders. And it's all earned. What are you doing right now where you are slacking off and that has bled over into other areas of your life? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. It's very hard for me to believe that when you're out here being a piece of shit in certain areas of your life, that it's not affecting the rest of it. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So where is it that you personally need to step the fuck up and become a leader? First might have to start with leading yourself. There's no way that you can have confidence that you can do anything in this fucking life if you can't even trust yourself when you say you're going to do something. How many times have you pushed something off, procrastinated, then all of a sudden it's too late? There's people in my phone book that I used to look up to that I don't fucking call anymore. Because I used to call them. They used to tell me they would do something. They didn't do it. I called them again. Shame on me. They told me they would do something. They never did it. Called them again. Asked them to do something. They said they'd do it. It never happened. Learning lesson I had to learn. But then the self-reflection said, how many fucking times have I done that to other people? How many times have I said yes to too many things? Oh, because I want to help as many people as possible. Cool, you fucking helped no one, bro. You said yes to everyone, didn't do jack shit, and now you let everybody fucking down. But how do you do this to yourself? How do you tell yourself, yes, I'm going to do it, and then you don't do it? All right, I'm going to do this. This time it's for real. And then you never do it. Oh, I'm going to do it on Monday. I'll start on Monday. I'll start on the 1st. I'll start on January 1. And you never do it. How many times do you do that before even you yourself loses all the confidence that you had in yourself because you can't even lead yourself? So you got to start with yourself. It's real hard for me to believe that someone can lead a business that can't lead their family. So first you start with yourself, and then it leads to your family. Then you learn to lead your business correctly. Then you learn to lead strangers. Like why would other people follow anyone else? Like, what gives them qualifications? What gives them a reason outside of the fact that someone that they know, like, and trust says that they're worth following? Which, mind you, is the reason why we protect who we put on a platform. It's not paid to play. Because how do you vet that? It's earned. We've seen it with our own eyes. Any of our fucking pack leaders, they're badass fucking leaders. Sure, some of them might still be figuring out how to maneuver business in a certain type of way, maneuver their life. They're all getting 1% fucking better daily. They're all focused on the end goal. They're all focused on the journey that they're on. They're just happening to look back and see that other motherfuckers are following them because they led by example. They didn't ask anyone to lead them, to lead. They didn't pay for anyone to follow them. They were just so focused on bettering themselves that their own true lives were examples of the power of being in groups like this and what can happen when you truly understand how to lead yourself. So you might be out there right now wondering, where do you start? If you're listening to this podcast, I'd like to think that you've at least started this process. If you're not in the free group, I would highly suggest join the free group. Surrounding yourself with an ecosystem of badass motherfuckers is step one. Now, the free group isn't as vetted as the VIP group. How can we? It's a free group. We do our best. We have 3 guys that, administer or admin that are admins for that group, or moderators that try to keep that ecosystem as pure as possible. Obviously, some slip through, but we do our best to weed them out, smoke them out. What happened? Those guys realized that they ain't our kind of guys, and so they bounced. It is what it is. Smoked them out. Realized you can't hang with us, dog, because we're all fucking focused on bettering ourselves and earning our outcomes versus trying to get gifted it or felt like we deserved it. So what is it that you can do? Surround yourself with guys like that. Start looking up to people and learning to follow others. You see someone that has something that you want, pay attention. What are they doing? How are they doing things differently than you? What can you do to replicate the process, make it your own, and start moving forward in a positive manner? You start doing that. You start focusing on how you yourself can be better. And you will start to navigate these waters that are otherwise are uncharted territory for you. And you will start paving the way for other people to follow you. The beautiful thing about Uncaged is we have men from all walks of life, all ages, all over the world. For some people, they've navigated these waters many, many, many times. For a lot of us, it's the first time we've ever seen it. So we need a guide. We're desperately looking for someone to follow. But if you haven't learned how to lead yourself, you'll never be able to lead those other people that are so desperately praying that you make it so that they can follow in your footsteps. It'll be scary. It'll be hard. It'll be your first worst. But you get to make the choice on if you have the abilities mentally to set aside all the things that are terrifying you about this journey. And look around your uncaged brothers and see everyone else fighting their own battles, focused on their own goals, achieving their own dreams. And you get to lift that fucking head up, roll those shoulders back, put that chest out, and fucking march on. And continue fucking going. And continue leading yourself. And continue leading your family. And continuing to lead your business or your job or your whatever your role or position is. And eventually you'll be able to look back and see that other people have noticed a difference in you. Notice that you're someone worth following. And they will follow you without you having to ask. Without you having to be put on some pedestal. Without you having to pay to play. Because I promise you, all the quote-unquote followers of anything that's pay to play will eventually die off. You haven't earned it. You thought you did. You thought you deserved it. Your ego was lying to you, and you bought into it because you were too weak to understand that nothing in this life is anything outside of earned that's worth having. Got to earn it. So what is it right now that you could be doing better to become a better leader? I want to hear it. I want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. Please reach out to me. Let's have this conversation inside the free group. I'd love to hear your opinions. I'd love to hear what you had to say about this episode. I want everyone in Uncaged to become leaders, but I want them to earn it. That's what I want. I want to surround. I selfishly want to be surrounded by leaders. I selfishly want to be surrounded by guys that are much more badass than I am, because then I get to learn. I get to become better. I get to grow. I don't want to sit here and be complacent. I don't want to sit here at this where I am today. I want to constantly be getting 1% better every day. And sometimes I got to sit here and watch things that unfold that I don't necessarily enjoy, but I understand that this is the shedding of an old skin so that this new version of Uncaged can come out and we can continue to grow. And I surround myself with motherfuckers like Donald Doe who call me out on my shit, that get my mindset right, that it's not about the motherfuckers that leave. It's about the motherfuckers that are here with us and building this right here, because Uncaged is a movement. I have not seen anything like Uncaged that's out there. I might be biased, but I've been a part of a lot of groups. Many are some of the top in the world. There's just a difference here. We're not in competition with any of them. We're collaborative. But I'm here to focus on you, the ones that are watching this episode, listening to this episode, that are still involved and are still leading themselves and are still looking for ways to better themselves. Maybe you're not leading yourself right now. Maybe you're fucking not. Maybe this episode is exactly what you needed to fucking hear to learn how to lead yourself. You're still the kind of person that I want to be surrounded with, because I like motherfuckers who can set the ego aside, that ain't itching for the attention, and just simply want to lead. Maybe it's just lead yourself. Maybe it's just lead your family. Maybe it's just lead your business. But I love watching leaders grow inside of Uncaged and to develop their own ecosystem. I love it. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me on this episode. Again, I want to continue this conversation, so reach out to me. Make a post in the free group, whatever the case is. I want to continue this conversation because I want to see motherfuckers that are leaders. I want to see who you are. I want to watch you grow. I want you to call me out when I'm not, when I stay stagnant. But thank you so much for hanging out. It's been an awesome episode. I couldn't wait to get in the studio and record this after my conversation with Donald this morning. I'm literally going to be releasing this in a few days. I'm that excited about it. So, guys, this is the Uncaged Podcast, man. This is all about the journey to the top 1%. And And exactly what we've been talking about here. It's about becoming 1% better daily. So I hope this episode helped. If you need anything, if you want any more advice about how to join the VIP program, please reach out to your favorite pack leader. If you're not in the free group, I highly suggest you join. You can find anything and everything that you need to know about Uncaged at uncagedcrew.com. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one.